Hey friends, welcome back to SoCom Shop. So I had the idea that I would like to try making a little bookmark, a slow stitch bookmark. And one of the things that I've been really wanting to, I'm still learning about where to put my hands here for the camera. I've been wanting to figure out how to use these little pieces of thread that come after I wash the scraps that I get. So I go to this wonderful place called uh, Swanson's, I don't remember, Swanson something, I'll link it below. And they sell these wonderful scraps, everything there has been donated, and they sell them as what they call hot trash. So it's like a small piece of fabric that wouldn't even be a quarter of a yard. And when I wash them up, if you can see what happens here, these little edges come off with or they fray at the edges. And then there's all this, what looks like thread to me. It's strings. I guess when you see it this way, you realize that all cloth is like woven pieces of thread, which I never really realized before this. But anyway, so I've ended up with a lot of this, and I've been collecting it because it feels like, on one hand, there's some of it that feels really strong, and I feel like I want to be able to use it actually as thread, but some of it's so short that I wouldn't really even be able to make a full stitch. So I've been collecting it, and I'm not sure exactly what to do with it. And so I had the idea, I've seen some people sort of like sew this down onto a piece of fabric and make designs with it. And then I had found this amazing fabric in the hot trash that I had bought that has little, can you see that? They're little spools of thread. So I just thought, how cute would it be to make a bookmark out of some touches of this spool of thread fabric and some of this loose strings. I don't know if there's a sewing word for this. If there is, let me know in the comments. But these loose strings. So let's see what happens. This is an experiment. And what's so great about slow stitching, and this is a piece of just sort of like a cotton, it used to be a sheet that I got also at Swanson's. And I had used this for the base of my slow stitch kits, and this was a piece that is just not big enough for, it was an edge that, so I thought it looks just like a bookmark to me. So anyways, this is the beauty of slow stitching, is that we can experiment and we don't have to feel worried about experimenting, because this is about just the process and the experience of sewing and not about the finished product. So I'm just going to show you real quick my little sewing kit that I have here. I keep it in one of these cookie tins. It works so well because I can put it in my cloth bag and these pins are not going to poke me. I'm not going to have a needle poke me or the scissors cut through or anything, because it's carefully all tucked in this nice metal container. So I have my scissors, I have my pin cushion, I have some thread, and I have some needles. So I'm going to go ahead and pick out a needle, and I just know that I have been saving this one that I hadn't used the other day that has some red thread on it, so that'll go great with the fabric that I've sewn. So since this one's already knotted, I can't show you, but basically what you're going to do is you're going to get about a foot of thread, just about an arm's length. You're going to put that one end carefully through the eye of the needle, which is the hole. Put that through and pull it through. And this one happens to be, sometimes you can pull just not one end and have the other one be loose. And right now this is going to be double, so this is fine for me. Okay. So I'm going to take my base fabric, and you can do it either way. You can make a plan and then sort of plan it out and then go with it. Or you can build it as you go. I think I'm going to start with picking out a little bit of this fabric. What I'm going to try to do is take something that's got a funny shape that I wouldn't be able to use a perfect square of. So there's a corner here they must have cut something out that they were making. So I'm going to go ahead and take this piece because it's a little bit odd shaped. Go ahead and use that. One of my favorite thing that I've discovered as I've been doing this is that if you cut a little bit on fabric like this, you can just, oh, it's not going to do it this time. Maybe it's only certain directions. Sometimes you can just pull it and it rips in a straight line. It's so cool. Oh, there we go. You see that? It's the most satisfying feeling. I just love that. I love the sound. I love how the frayed. And then look, we've already got some more of these little pieces of thread. Or string. I don't know what you call it when it's a piece of the fabric. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some little triangles maybe here. Or look, that just pulled into a funny stripe. So I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to leave all these because I think that's sort of the look that I'm going for. Let's see if I can rip this one. Great. I'm just going to do it. Just sort of random. Can you see that? Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to take some of my, where'd my string go? I believe it. There we go, it fell onto the ground. So let's see what we've got here. Some of these light blues. This is from the my grandma's quilt project that I'm working on. So maybe I'm just gonna lay these down. However they go. Got a nice darker thread here. Let's see about that one. I like that. And you know, because this is not trying to be anything other than a little collagey fun moment for me, I don't feel the pressure to make it look any certain way. But I think I am going to actually like how it looks. And later we could even come back in and put some buttons. That'd be cute. Buttons. Let's see how we go here. Now this has been perfect because my paid job is as a speech pathologist. And I've got a knot in the end of this thread already. And so sometimes my students, I work online, and sometimes my students don't show up. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a few pins in because I want to pick this up. Sometimes my students don't show up, and I just often end up like, I can't really get myself organized enough knowing the next kid's going to come, you know, within 15 minutes to do like a whole report. And so I end up just sort of fiddling, wasting time. And now I've been able to do some of my slow stitching because it's very low stakes. And that's what's happening right now. One of my students didn't arrive. And so I'm just here waiting for them. And they're about 10 minutes late at this point. So once it gets 15 minutes, they know that it'll be canceled. So here's what I do. I just put that needle in, put that needle back out, and pull it. Now, because this is a scrappy project anyways, I'm not going to worry about this big old knot. If I wanted to hide it, I could put it under this blue fabric. But I'm not worried about that right now. And I'm just sort of going to go up and down to attach this fabric to the base layer. There we go. And what we're going to end up with probably is going to be a really fun pattern on the back of this white fabric, which is one of my favorite parts of slow stitching. I usually like the back even better than the front. Go down and back out. And I'm not exactly sure how we're going to attach the strings, but let's see, huh? There's something that feels like a big sigh of relief just to know that this does not have to be anything. It just is an opportunity for me to sew and to have a quiet moment. Feel the fabrics. I do like the feel and the sound of the thread as it goes through. I've noticed that I really like cotton thread more than the polyester because it has a bit of a tug, bit more of a tug. I think something about the polyester probably makes it slide through more easily, which maybe some people appreciate. But I sort of like the resistance. It feels satisfying. Now I just lost a little bit of string as I moved this, so I'm just going to reach down and get that. I don't want to lose this bit because I really like that goldish brown color. Alright, now I've pulled a little too tight here, so I'm going to see what I can do to loosen that up, and I might just even, you can tuck your needle in there and pull to loosen up. Because like when you cinch a hoodie, that's sort of what I did to this by pulling too tight. I'm just going to loosen that back. And again, because this is such a funky, you can see I've got uneven, the thread is uneven there, but because this is all so funky, I don't even need to worry about it. I could even cinch it up if I liked the way that looked, but I do want the I want the size of the bookmark to stay bigger so that I can have it fill up a page in my book. When I was little, I had a very sweet neighbor, and she and we made a little card shop, and we would often make bookmarks. We had all these beautiful stamps, and do you remember that stuff was called embossing? And you sprinkle the powder, or you put the stamp on, and then you sprinkle the powder onto the fresh ink, and then you hold it up to an iron, and it melts, and it looks like metal, like gold. Gosh, that stuff was beautiful. Okay, so I've got this triangle now completely stitched down, and now I'm just going to take a bit of this thread and see. I might do like loop it around here. What do you think? See how it looks. Yeah, let's follow some of these and see what we see. So what I'm doing is I'm going down on one side of it and coming up on the other side of it. Follow it like a little, are we in the camera here? That'd be so funny. Oh yeah, what do you think of that? I like that. What I like thinking about is that, you know, we have all these, there's all these stitches that have names and that you can learn. And each and every single one of those stitches at some point was just somebody sitting here like this, fiddling and saying, what would it look like if I did this? And so there's no reason why we have to learn all these things from someone else. We could also remember that we can create, and even if somebody else created it already, it doesn't mean that it's not really special, that our mind came up with something that would look pretty or look the shape that we wanted. Oh, isn't that fun? Oh, I like it even more than I thought I would. Okay. Just checking if my student has come. Nobody yet. And I just am astonished. I have to say that just the biggest thank you. I just got an email today that I got a comment from someone, and they were so sweet, and it felt really like just so wonderful to connect with them. And then I looked at the videos, and I have not been keeping track of these videos, and one of the videos had 500 views. I cannot believe that I've shared these moments with 500 of you. And that just feels incredible. It feels really special, because sometimes we can feel very alone. And especially me, I'm a single mom. And I share custody of my kiddo. So 3 nights a week, I am alone. And to imagine being able to do these quiet sewing and enjoy some quiet beauty together with 500 of you. Oh, it's hard to even believe. Isn't that fun? Can you see that? Oh, I just love it. Okay, so now I just noticed, I was going along, I've only got a little bit left, so I need to go ahead and tie a knot in this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tuck this through one of my previous stitches. Got barely enough because this needle is really long. And then I'm going to, because it's so long, because the needle is so long and the thread is so short, I'm going to tuck the needle backwards through the hole that I just made, through the loop. Pull it through. And I'm not going to quite make it, so I'm just going to cut it here. This is, again, I do not know technique. I am just fiddling because I am intimidated by and put off by having to learn the techniques, and that's why I hadn't sewed for so long. It was so sad because I can just make it up as I go. So you see, I just pulled that tight, and just for good measure, I'm going to tie those two. Because we cannot do this wrong. When there is something that has no rules, we can't do it wrong. Which is pretty amazing. And I keep finding that more and more in my life. If we let go of the rules, which are made up anyways, there's so much freedom, and there's a lot of joy and freedom. And maybe we don't even cut those off. Maybe we even end up sewing those down. But let's check the back, okay? Oh, look it. It looked like a little mushroom, actually. Isn't that cute? And the whole back of this is going to fill up, and then that's going to feel so satisfying. Feeling the fabric with the stitches through is just something I will, I think, never lose. Appreciation for it just feels so wonderful. And we'll have all these interesting loose threads tacked down. Won't that be fun in a book to open up? Oh, I keep losing this really sweet piece up here. And then maybe what we'll do on the top is we'll end up putting a nice tassel on. Maybe we'll make a tassel out of some of these loose threads, huh? Okay. I am going to transition because this next kiddo I expect will be here. So I don't want them to arrive in the middle and have to end the video abruptly. So I'm just sending you all a big hug and a big thank you for joining me on this journey. And I'm looking forward to more. Have a beautiful day, night, week, wherever you are.